Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Atomic Mass Transmissions Live. I'm joined today by special guest star Will Pagani.
I think this is my first painting stream.
It is.
Wow.
Yeah.
Not counting after parties.
Yeah, not kind of afterward. So, as Dallas talked about last Wednesday when he kicked off the next big Legion streaming, what's the word I want? Series. Extravaganza? No. We save those for something else.
Okay.
Four of us in the office. So, myself, Will Pagani, Dallas Kemp, and Michael Plummer have all decided to dive in, each grab a faction from Legion, and we're going to be painting up a whole army over the next several weeks. We're going to be doing a lot of that on stream, hanging out, chatting with y'all. And then once we're done with our armies, we're going to hopefully play some games with them and have some fun as well. So we just thought we'd take you along on this journey and talk about how everything's going on. And Pagani's knee-deep in points updates and rules updates and all kinds of stuff. So who knows what he'll talk about.
It's coming along.
But let's go ahead and just move this off and get to painting because we got lots of stuff to do.
Yes. What are you painting today?
I have my first unit of B2 battle droids.
Wonderful.
I know, it's very exciting.
Wonderful.
This is first unit, a unit of three. Yeah, I have three of these fantastic units. And I have 2 units of Magna Guard. I need this camera to like focus in. It doesn't want to at all. Let's see if we can. Let's see if we can get this boy in focus.
One B2.
Hey, that looks pretty good now. Now we're back in business. But yeah, so I've got a lot of B2s to paint. I've got some Magna Guard to paint. I'm gonna have a Dooku. I just wanted to do something a little different. So my force is largely like all elite kind of infantry stuff. And so I chose like this really dark boiler black kind of color scheme, which will help me get them base coated and set up really quick, and then just kind of go through and do this Victorian brass, make them look all angry and sinister. It should be pretty good. I already painted my Persuader tank this way, so I've done the test.
It looks beautiful.
I know.
I'm doing my test right now, live on camera. And this is a little more red than I would have liked for a Chewbacca. But you know what? I think we're going to save it with some layering in a little bit here.
I was going to say, you can always tone the color down a little bit of like brown ink or something too. So there are lots of options. Oh, Dallas is in. He's back. What do you need, Dallas? What's happening?
His camera looks terrible.
His camera looks terrible.
Thanks.
Well, I blame Tony because Tony set up all the cameras. And by set up, I mean like he plugged them in and then he ran away. So who knows what's going on.
We can hide my very off-color Chewbacca for now. But the layering and the dry brushing will
You got a lot of red on your camera for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's definitely red, but I don't think it's that red looking over there at the...
You look like a baked lobster.
What? Oh, I got it sunburned all over my hands. Dallas, this is really weird to paint on one of these things.
It's definitely a different experience for sure.
Oh, yes.
See, I'm like super missing it right now because I got to hold myself on the mark on camera.
Steady.
I know.
How'd we do, Dallas?
It looks better.
Yay, better is...
It's definitely a little clearer, so. If someone was playing an attorney on the weekend, would there be point changes? No. Not this weekend.
No.
You're pretty safe.
No, you've got at least a couple weeks before that's all live.
I think we're still looking at like end of October, before Thanksgiving, November-ish, depending on...
I would be very surprised if it makes it to Thanksgiving. Very, very surprised.
Depending on approvals and licensing and all the different steps. We need to come up with a Schoolhouse Rock song for how something becomes real for Star Wars Legion.
Ooh.
Like the I'm Just a Bill song.
Well, I have some
Goodness gracious, Pagani.
Woo.
You might
break
This is why you don't get invited on paint streams. You have to pour that back in. You've ruined the conference table. Everything's destroyed.
It's a life to live. Well, this is my color for Chewbacca. So,
cool.
Just to show, chat here.
There you go. He just filled the entire brim.
This was my palette. It is now full of this lovely brown color, and well, here we are.
Any chance you would update the Legion cards like what happened with Crisis cards? Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, or at least, like, we did do, I gotta bring my water over. I mean, we did do the change, or we announced the change at Mini Extravaganza, which will be going in where, with your battle cards, you place all 4 of them into play and then delete accordingly, which makes...
I think what they mean is the like reworked
No.
cards. No?
They don't.
Oh, they mean the...
They mean the battle cards.
Oh, this was the wrong color. This was the more red one.
Oh my gosh, what is happening with this camera?
It's all
Turn
right.
off the cinema.
It wouldn't
Turn on the
be
thing.
a stream if there wasn't
There we
technical
go.
difficulties.
The focus on this camera, because I'm not on my normal camera, is just all over the place. I'm dying here.
All right. Well.
Oh, the profile cards for the troops and such.
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows what would happen? But I don't currently know plans like that. Let's say that.
Covered in ink.
You gotta pour that back in the bottle. You've wasted precious mana.
Oh God.
You're just a monster.
And it was the wrong color. Like just to make it all better.
Good Lord.
Okay. Well. Cheers. What a debut, eh?
What a debut. I know, you've covered the table in paint. You've completely
You
thrown
really
off
want me to try
everything.
to pour this in here on a live stream right now?
No, not on live streams.
I'll just.
Oh yeah, just go ahead. Pour it
Here we
all
go,
over your
chat.
hands.
If I pour it directly into my lap, the laughing will.
Am I going to do a C-3PO head on a droid? I'm not
Continue.
using any B1s, so I don't think that would make, because C-3PO wound up on a B1, not a B2.
Oh.
My list is only B2s and Magna Guards and Persuader tanks and Dooku's. Do I want to do anything else on this guy?
All right. Shake a look at this. We got it.
Yeah, see, I believed in you the whole time.
Steady
That's-
hands Pagani. That's what Marco
I
calls me.
believed in you the whole time. That's why I thought that you needed to just pour it back in and just make it all work.
Okay. Let's see if we can not do that again.
I would prefer that you didn't. Could you not come into the studio and just destroy it on
And-
your very first appearance?
And if I do, can it at least be the right color next time?
I mean, that would be nice.
See, I thought werewolf brown would have been good for Chewbacca, but it's a little questionable.
I mean, he wasted a lot of paint.
Yeah.
Unless you count painting the conference room table to be not a waste. In which case, then success.
Hey, look,
Suck
it didn't get on any
sass.
walls. I'm mostly unscathed.
It didn't. It's
My
true.
hoodie survived. We're in a pretty good spot over here, all in all.
The weird bead that happens to be in these scale paints, that's a new thing.
Yeah, I think it's
In
an
these
agitator.
instant colors, these agitators that fell in your lap.
It did. It got a little bit on my pants, but that's all right.
I don't own a pair of pants that don't have some kind of acrylic hobby paint on them or super glue, one of the two.
Oh, super glue's the worst on clothes, though.
It gets all crunchy and
Yeah.
crusty.
And then you break it, and it breaks all the fabric.
It is the worst. There's so many questions here. Oh, you've got a question about how you got into miniatures games?
I got into miniatures games a super duper long time ago when I was in high school. And I went to a LAN party house, and they had some miniatures game stuff on the shelves, and I was like, oh, that looks cool. So then I bought it, and me and all my high school buddies started playing it.
Nailed
and
it.
The rest is history.
History.
Yeah. All right. There's a lovely base-coated Chewbacca, which you can't particularly see because he's very dark, and the background is very dark.
That won't help. Just
yep.
as an FYI. He's super dark, by the way.
You can't see him. He's hiding.
He's dark like the night.
Yes, so we're going to take this as our base coat. I missed some spots on his chest here. Yeah, see, Dallas is right. You can't turn them upside down when they're on this
No,
thing.
you can't turn them upside down. I mean, you could be over here and just coming off camera all the time, so.
It's okay. At least I'm in focus.
You are in focus, and I continue to not be in focus. There we go.
Okay. But
This
that'll be a
camera
good
just
base coat, and
refuses
then I can
to-
dry brush up from here, but I'm going to let that dry.
Refuses to work.
We're going to move on to one Senor Han Solo.
I'm 2 seconds away from just being Tony, the way that you set this up, I hate, so I'm going to fix it.
We're doing it live.
We're doing it live. I know. No, I got this. It's going to be great.
You're going to turn it back to the main cam? Ooh,
It's all
look
on
at
you
that.
now.
Look at that.
It's all on you. Well, I
Okay.
While I fix this.
So my experiment with Chewie's colors here is going to work out great for Han because this really dark brown I think is going to make a great boot color. See, and then it's so much lighter over here. Why? Why, Shake? Why does this work this way? Dallas is back.
Keep it on that camera.
I'm going to.
Dallas playing tech support today.
He's just trying to make everything look nice. There.
Yeah.
This is like so much improved.
That looks
I'm going to have some words with Tony after this.
better. What's wrong?
He set these cameras up in like the worst way possible. It's
all
just awful.
Tony can do no wrong.
That's just not true. See,
Can
and this
do
is
no wrong.
this is how we wind up in these situations where we claim that he can do no wrong.
That looks way better.
Dallas is getting his tech certification.
Dallas knows. I
do
mean,
this a lot.
we've been doing this from home for so long without anybody. It's almost weird to be in a studio where you're like not in your comfortable setup,
That is true.
where you're not in your laundry room. All right, now I think we can go back because I am much more comfortable and this looks much improved.
Brilliant. Yeah, so one of the things that I like to do when I'm
Boom.
painting leathers, especially like black and dark leathers, is I always like to give them like an undercolor. So I always do like a brown or a blue or something under them, and then I come back with another wash and do like the black over that. So that's what I'm doing here.
It's your trick.
That's my trick.
It's your
I don't know if
trick.
it's my trick. I think it's more of like a trick. But yeah, now I can see if I can open this pot of paint without dumping it everywhere. We're 1 for 1, 2. No, 1 for 2.
One
We've
for
got
two.
2 paints, 1 dump. So we'll see if we can do better.
There was a comment like way earlier before all of the nonsense happened about points updates and RGs, and will points updates always be tied to RGs? And I just wanted to address that because I did see it and say the future is a bright and unknown place. So maybe, maybe not. I
mean,
think.
I'm pretty sure I can.
Oh,
I'm
you're
pretty
just
sure I can
gonna
say no.
You're just gonna say no. There will
Like-
always be an RG points update tied together.
No. I don't think they will be tied together. Right? I think we work much more fluidly, where it's when something needs to get changed or updated, we change and update it, and that's just kind of always been our philosophy. And if we always had to hold and wait for something, I don't think that gives players the best thing that we can give them. So,
Well, there you go. So they won't always be tied together in the future.
no, I mean, maybe I'm just a liar, but I don't think so.
Well, as long as you do it once, then they're not always tied together. I
That's
guess.
true.
So see, you've got the easy way out.
Just one there.
Which Thanksgiving were we talking about for the RG? Just Thanksgiving in general.
Not Canadian Thanksgiving, if that's the question.
It probably is, but
Despair green. So excited.
what kind of color do you want? I can help you
I feel
out.
like a black.
A black? You want decay black, which is there's Negro gray, which is kind of black. This is the one you want, decay black.
Perfect.
Oh, tell them about your theme for your army, Pagani.
Me? I am doing an indoor-themed rebel army. So it's gonna have,
Can't even wait for the Ewoks to come out.
I can't.
This is some super prep work right now.
I can't. I'm really excited for Ewoks, obviously. And then I love playing characters in games in general. So this list has all the characters from Indoor. Leia and Chewie and Han
And R2.
and R2 and C-3PO and some like Rebel veterans and some Rebel troopers.
And you're going to do some conversion on your vets to
Yeah.
make them more fit the theme.
Yeah, because currently they're Hoth themed. And then I've also got some commandos. But the idea is that I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. Maybe swap the heads around, get some of the commando heads on there or something. But to kind of tie it in a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
So
Nice.
that's the That's the plan. I'm now open 2 paint pots without dumping them on the table again. So
Look at you go. I'm so proud.
what a champion.
So proud. Our twizzle-legged baby boys all growing up. Yeah, and then so I kind of talked about my list a little bit, but I wanted to really do this is my second droid army that I've painted, and I wanted to do something a little different with it. So I decided to just kind of like do an elite force centered around Dooku, with the idea being that there are no like chumpy B1s, so it's all B2s. The new Magna Guard, obviously, because they're awesome. So
Oh, those minis are so
a couple units of those. And then I wanted to play with the new Persuader tank because I think that's a great B2 ride, as well as just being a cool miniature. So
rolling around.
that's kind of like the whole theme of the Force is that. And so I came up with like this dark boiler black color scheme and the golds, and just to make it kind of look sinister and
Riding up in the night on your...
a little bit royal, you know, a little noble. It's not flashy, but at the same time, you can tell there's some power and prestige behind it. It's the hope anyway. Also, it's going to be fairly easy and quick to paint up an entire army in the scheme, which is always something I look for when I'm doing a full army. I'll take my time on the characters and, you know, probably go all out with them, but I want to get those units done in 2 to 3 hours at most. You know, I don't want to spend 8, 10, 12, 14 hours painting trooper units. Like, that's not what makes me excited. So quick, efficient, easy schemes like this where I can blast the primary color through an airbrush and make it look really nice and cool, and then knock out the rest of it with some simple details and a bit of washes and stuff. Like that Imperial Force that I did in May and then built out for the game at Mini Stravaganza. Each of those Stormtrooper units takes about 2.5 hours. So it's very quick.
Yeah, fantastic. And they look great. They look great. Yeah, I did that clone army back a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the same idea, like 2-3 hours a unit for the clones. And I did a little extra on the characters. And I've got a Yoda on my painting desk at home right now for them.
Your luck with Yoda on stream is not inspiring a lot of confidence for poor Yoda being part of your clone force, though.
Yeah, that has not quite gone as planned. So, not the greatest. Getting beat up in combat by a tactical droid?
Was it Kraken or Kalani? Because I think you've played against both, but I don't remember which one was.
I think it was Kalani.
Yeah, this sounds like it checks out.
Not something that I would have ever imagined to have happened. But.
Well, you know, your ability to not roll red saves is legendary around the office at this point.
It is.
You might as well be rolling white dice on those poor clones with the success rate that we've seen so far on stream. You can just keep that up for our game tomorrow, too.
Yes.
That'll be great.
Yes, indeed. There will be mini clones tomorrow.
There will be. For somebody who just talked about how they love playing characters, your clone list is suspiciously absent of characters tomorrow.
Every clone is a
Oh, is that
character,
where
sir.
we're going with this?
Sir?
Every clone?
Every clone is Rex.
Yeah, I mean, I think when it comes like chat, it's just my personal preference. Like when I'm painting units and stuff, that's what I like to do most of the time, is just burn through them and get it done really quick. But, you know, if, like we talk about all the time on painting, the hobby's for you to enjoy. So if making an amazing looking unit over the course of 12 or 16 hours that's your jam,
Gosh, yes.
like do it. Don't let me tell you that's wrong, because it's not. It's completely right for you. It's just not right for me. Like, I get burnt out on painting the same trooper mini too long. Like, it's just boring. I want to move on and paint the next thing, but I always have too many projects. So I don't think I've ever painted a single army at one point. I've always had 2 or 3 things that were going on at the same time to shift back and forth to.
And terrain, too. Like, yeah, I think that's a really good point, right? Like, Shik and I are here saying that, like, we like to blow through units really quickly, but That definitely doesn't make us right. And at least for me, like, I really enjoy the hobby, right? I really enjoy painting and hobbying and all that kind of stuff. But primarily for me, I'm a player. So the hobby is wonderful, but I'm here to have great looking games. And if I can finish this stuff relatively quickly and get it on the table, that's wonderful. That's exactly what I'm going for.
Yep. I want it to look really cool in game, tell the story for both me and my opponent, and then have it look nice on the shelf. And that's kind of, as long as it does that, then mission accomplished. As far as like when we play these games, we're definitely going to be playing in the post RRG points update world. So
Yes.
we're not that fast. The game tomorrow will not be using our new army that we're working on as of today. Dallas is back.
Switch to Pagani cam.
Like the whole cam?
Yeah, just focus on Pagani for a second.
All right. I'm going to do that for you. There you go.
I'm just in here painting in some shadows.
Just keep talking. I'm not here.
I'm not here. He's invisible.
Tony always says that he's not
He's
here. He's always here in my heart.
Just
I
invisible.
like how I'm like, keep talking.
talking,
You
and
guys
everybody's like,
That's-
freeze.
I mean, it's because you're like right over my shoulder
Yeah.
here. It's freaking me out, man.
You are freaking out, man.
Oh, I have a lobster unit for B2s. Actually, the first droid army that I painted was color concepted and painted in part by my youngest kid. So he's a huge fan of red. We've actually used that army several times in playtest here.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of metallic reds going on in that army.
I think that army actually showed up on stream. At least one of the units did.
I think it did, yeah. It did get utilized as some filler when we needed more units of B1s.
More B1.
You can never have too many B1s. Oh, we're happy again?
I'll
I mean-
explain later.
Okay.
The ominous I'll explain later.
Mm-hmm.
Bum, bum, bum. Alright.
I think I know what was going on. All right, what else we got going on?
Chewbacca's still over here drying.
Chewbacca, I mean, he'll be drying for the rest of the day, so. That is not surprising. Oh, I missed this guy's feetsies. I gotta paint this guy's feetsies. Get out of the camera so we can at least have a little bit of stuff going on. I think you talked about before stream that you had some Han Solo inside info you wanted to like spoil.
I mean, I was saying it was an option. Like, I
Oh.
mean, we don't have to do anything.
Well, at this point, I mean, this stream has gone so far off the rails, you might as well throw out something.
I mean, I think we could call it like. I mean, I'm not going to give it all away. You know.
Look, I don't even know what you have to give, so you could just be like, it's this, and be like, that's it, and I'd be like, okay.
I think reading in the paint splatter on the conference table, it's telling me that Han Solo is getting steady,
Oh.
which will let him shoot after moving,
Mm-hmm.
which to me is very exciting. And it has been very cool in playtest.
I mean, that's what he wants to do, right? You think of Han Solo, you think he's gonna blast you.
He's
He's gonna get you with that DL-44.
he's staying mobile. He's keeping dodges up.
Mm-hmm.
He's shooting
He's shooting.
like a Han Solo does. So, and there's some other things in the work for our boy here, but
You'll cross those when you get closer to the time.
Yep, indeed.
I don't think we're using any of the RG changes tomorrow in our game.
I'd have to check. I don't think so.
I'm fairly confident that I am not.
Oh, painting little fingers.
Because I think the only change in my entire list that would occur that way would be I'd have a couple more points from one of the upgrades that I chose.
Yes.
So even then, not the most exciting of changes.
Yeah, we will be using the new points for our lists tomorrow.
Oh, will we? Then I have 4 extra points.
Ooh, doggy. You might have more. I don't know. I didn't check your other units.
I didn't know we were using the new points. I thought we were still using the old points.
Well, they didn't go up, so your list will still be legal.
It's true.
Yes, these armies that we were painting now should be post-RRG.
Definitely post RG. Definitely.
Oh, yeah. I'm not. Yes.
Back to the silvers.
Yeah. Oh, I might steal some silver from you. You just put like a little silver.
There's the whole bottle.
Let me just dump this on the table.
Yeah, look, some of us don't need to pour the entire bottle of paint out to paint our little miniatures.
Look, I'm just saying. I got most of it back into the bottle.
It's true.
At least it landed in the palette and not
I
on
look,
the table.
It could have been worse in so many different ways. So we'll take the win as it came and enjoy this fun story of Pagani's first paint stream being an absolute disaster. It'll be fine.
It's great.
It'll be all great.
Everything's great. You know, you never realize how much you turn miniatures that you're painting until they're stuck to a
Until you
microphone
can't turn them? Yeah, it's a whole different skill.
stand. I do not envy Dallas with this.
See, that's the sad part about coming back to the studio is that at home I was painting like this, where I just painted normally but had the camera over my shoulder. Now we're here, though, and so it's back to that little stand.
Oh yeah, have you gotten to use this guy yet?
Oh, yeah, I've used it every time we were in the studio. I had to use one. And what you'll find is that, you know, you'll go along, you'll paint, we'll have a great time, talk to chat, you'll feel really good. Then you'll get the miniature like back to your painting station at home to tidy up, and you'll be like, oh my gosh, I have a whole underside of this guy to paint. I miss so much stuff, but it's okay. You just be a proponent of if your eye can't see it on the game table, you don't need to paint it.
Yeah, that is.
Because no one's going to look at it from upside down. Just you.
Unless you're getting real crazy with the Ascension cables.
It's true. Use some blue tack to show everybody like clamoring up, sticking them on walls and stuff. It'd be perfect. Oh, I don't think there are any current Anakin changes on the docket this time around. I like to set expectations accordingly.
I would have to go look.
I don't remember discussing any. I would be surprised. He's still relatively new.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we could talk about some AMG philosophy for some of these kind of things if we want.
You're here.
We're getting into a little more dev stuff, though. I'm supposed to be here painting.
I mean, I always talk about dev stuff when I'm here painting because, let's be honest, you got to fill the time with something.
You're sitting in a room alone.
That's right. You're just talking to yourself and hoping that the chat isn't, you know,
Yeah, I mean,
a mad fever dream.
so obviously we at AMG did not design or produce Anakin, so I can't talk too much about that kind of stuff. But our philosophy in general is when new things are released, and they are really strong, they are not that strong, they are whatever, wherever they fall in that spectrum, right? We don't want to change things quickly around that type of feedback because we want to let players have a chance to try and figure it out. Because one of the things that I love the most in gaming ever is figuring stuff out. Getting to explore the rules and explore the characters and that kind of thing. So is Anakin relatively new? Well, relatively speaking. So I'm not sure he had too many major looks at the moment. So players are going to have some more time to explore that kind of stuff.
Another big thing we talk about too is a lot of times when we're in our flow that we like to do as a studio and just a design department in general is there are times where letting something breathe and take a little longer to like play out there's a plan. There's ways to, or there's thought and process behind it. Something will see itself bloom into fruition later with other things that are coming. So, like Pagani said, the fun of these games is watching them evolve and grow and have the landscape change in interesting ways as new things are introduced or old things get brought to new light. And that's not always how it works. And obviously that's a philosophy that we have as the new AMG versus differing design philosophies and stuff that came before. And everyone has their own process. It's just like art or anything else. The way that one person does it is not the way that everyone else does it. And that doesn't make either way wrong or right. It just changes the whole equation and discussion.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So now I'm coming back through and hitting the leathers that I painted earlier with that sort of reddish brown with a really dark wash here. And that's going to kind of pull them back down.
Oh, it's harsh. You're on this council, but we do not grant you the rank of playable character.
Ooh.
Man.
I mean, playable character. Like, it takes a lot to not be playable, right?
Yeah, I think it just depends on, it depends on your goals, right? And everybody has a different set of criteria that they judge everything by too. Is something fun and thematic and flavorful and, can you get value out of it even if that value isn't the most efficient value you could get out of something else? It seems pretty playable to me. I like those challenges to some extent. Now, there's a pendulum. It can swing a little too far, and if you're always just struggling to get the most out of something at a basic level, sure.
Yeah.
You might not want to do that as much.
I can get that, but I don't know. Calling things unplayable to me is always going to be a little rough. Just a little rough. So I've thinned down this same black that I was using on the leather down here. Now I'm doing a wash on this gun. Maybe a glaze.
I would start laughing pretty funny if Dallas just started oh my gosh, Dallas is going to start talking about dev stuff on stream. I can't wait to see what that turns into. There's going to be a whole lot of excitement or consternation over things that don't even make sense. Dallas, he hangs out like many of us do he hangs out with us during dev meetings and provides a lot of really great feedback and insight. But Dallas has a lot going on. I don't know if he's always retaining everything we talk about.
No, I don't think so, and I wouldn't expect him to.
No, I wouldn't want him to. It's not his concern. That's the best part about being an invitee to those meetings and not part of the actual process, is that you can just come in and like shake the snow globe around, rattle all the cages and be like, you should do this. This would be amazing. And then people be like, that sounds really cool. How would we do that? And you go, I don't know, but you should do it. And then you just ghost out. And you're like, great.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm. Dallas is like the character on all of those like sitcoms or rom-com movies where they come in and they say something that they think is like just totally innocuous and super helpful, but it just completely destroys your whole personal value and like way of living. And then you have to deal with it afterwards.
Trying all sorts of new things over here, Schick, with paints I've never used before.
Nobody's used those paints yet. Those are brand new to the studio. That's why everyone was kind of like aghast when you started just dumping them all over the table. It's like no one else gets to use these, only me, because now they're everywhere.
And only the once.
Yeah, those are the new scale 75 Inkintensity, or no, not Inkintensity, the
something. What are they called?
Instacolors.
Instacolors.
Yeah.
Insta potions.
We thought those would be an interesting thing to mess around with on stream, and we always like discovering new tools, and techniques and stuff. So we were like, hey, let's give these a shot. The other scale colors have been really fun to play with, and you're the first person. You opened up a whole bunch of them and then dumped one of them all over a table. So it's going well.
It had it coming.
It's clearly it upset you. No, Dallas doesn't moonwalk. Usually he's not even in the room because we still are very like meeting remote. Honestly, the funny thing is a lot of the times we're having dev meetings in the office now because we're able to go back and play test. And Dallas is in the office, but he's in his office just meeting remotely via Teams. So I get the pleasure of hearing Dallas's voice from the hallway and through the computer, and it's kind of hilarious.
It's a pretty good looking Han Solo there.
Yeah, he's looking really sharp. Look at you cranking right through it.
Is
You got like
Chewbacca
20
dry yet?
minutes left. No, he's still not
No.
dry. He's closer.
How about I just sit here and blow on him?
Oh, that'll be fun for everyone to listen to.
I'm in the
Pagani-
dry holding pattern here.
Pagani definitely chose chaos when he woke up this morning. That was his goal.
Yeah, I have a toddler. The chaos is the only option.
Folks in the chat are trying to confirm that Han Solo is getting steady.
Well,
I believe
mean,
that's confirmed.
That's what I said.
It is what you said, but not everyone was here when you said it.
That's
so
true.
What do you
That is
What do you
true.
want them to do about it? They got to ask. They got to check in.
That's true.
Hit this side of the foot too.
This must be what the power of BK isn't in the office feels like. He can't
He's
stop me.
He's right there on the chat. Simone's in the chat too.
Oh no!
Yeah, everybody's watching now.
What have I done?
They're mostly just watching you. They don't normally come to my streams. That's not true. BK's always there in the wings.
Yeah. Look, we need a camera like right here, so the next time I dump a pot of paint on the table,
Everyone can just see it.
everyone can view its glory.
I know, because that would just encourage you to do it again.
One of my favorite things in the world of paint is flowing cloth. And Han's cape here, well, not really cloth, fits the bill.
Leather's a cloth.
Is leather a cloth?
I'm pretty sure leather's a cloth. You make clothing out of it. Clothing implies cloth. Leather is cloth.
Can you make clothing out of not cloth? Is vinyl cloth?
I mean, yes, I guess.
Well, the 80s had a lot of clothing made out of that.
It's true.
So, by your definition, I don't think there's really a discussion.
I know. I think we're good. If you can make clothing out of it, it's clearly a cloth. Now, it's not a textile. I think that's different.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm here for this.
Textile's different.
This alternating definition.
You got to get
like
into the nomenclature. Oh, somebody wasn't biting with something. Thanksgiving was the latest. Yeah, Thanksgiving. I refuse to be pinned down to which Thanksgiving or when Thanksgiving. I've played this game too many times before.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're working hard on it over here, and we're gonna get it out when it's ready. So, I can say that it's done from a development perspective. It is now in the production perspective.
Oh, see, now they're dropping Webster's dictionary terms. Cloth apparently has to be a woven or felted fabric made from wool, cotton, or a similar fiber.
Well, I think that we can argue that leather is more similar to wool or cotton than, say, a rock. So, I'll allow it.
That's where you're at?
This will be the section of the show called Pedantic with Pagani.
That
Which
is every day.
Dallas's least favorite.
It's true. That's not Dallas's
space.
favorite thing.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. It's pretty good. It's a pretty good Han Solo.
It's true. Lando could have used 4 more capes. Now that said, if you want more capes, the Magnagard box has an infinite amount of capes, basically. There's so many capes.
Oh, this poor Chewie.
He's all right. He's ruddy. He's definitely like...
He's a little more red and way darker than I wanted him to be.
You just dry brush him up, though. That's the beauty of dry brushing.
He's got to dry.
No, you'll be fine.
No,
gotta
no, I will not be
about-
fine.
You'll be fine. You got this.
It's called dry
a little
brushing,
bit of
Chick,
this.
not wet brushing.
You could wet blend it.
No, maybe you can. I cannot.
Anybody can wet blend. That's the joy of wet blending. You just mash paint together until it looks good.
Can Chad hear me blow? No, the microphones don't seem to be picking it up. Victory is mine.
It's true.
I don't know if this actually helps. Do you think this helps?
Blowing on it? If you had a hairdryer, it would absolutely help.
Oh yeah, but
Does
a
you-
hairdryer I am not.
Does you blowing on it help? I don't know. I mean, you can experiment now, or you could continue to work on your Han Solo. Either way.
He's kind of wet too.
Well, you should have thought about this
Yeah.
before you came to class.
I should have brought the hairdryer.
I'm actually
just
shocked
blown
that
up all
Dallas
the
doesn't have the hairdryer in here. I can turn the sound off when you hairdry. Dallas and I have used the hairdryer a number of times when we found ourselves in the position that you're in. But see, you have the benefit of there's another person here, so even if you're not painting, you can just talk away while you wait for it to dry, and somebody else will fill in the zone. Yeah, the painting requirements here. Dallas is back.
I hope it's Dallas. It was Dallas. He's coming for a chair?
I
There's
think
a hairdryer.
He's got his hairdryer. I told you his hairdryer was in here. I knew his hairdryer would be in here.
Thank you, Dallas.
I knew the hairdryer would be in here. When you only have an hour and you paint with a lot of washes and glazes, you gotta have that. You gotta have that hairdryer. Super important. Oh my gosh! Now we're arguing about tapestry and stuff. This is.
I think to be a tapestry, you have to be in a castle.
We've gone down a rabbit hole here.
I learned that from the movie. Oh, come here, hairdryer.
Was it Indiana Jones? Because I'm pretty sure that's.
It was.
I don't know that that was the conclusion they came to. I think the conclusion was if you're a castle, you have to have tapestries.
Ah.
Not that a tapestry necessarily has to be in a castle.
All right, Chick.
Oh, should I turn off the
let's
sound?
give us a
Are you-
mute.
Are you doing this?
I don't think it'll take very long.
Okay.
Goodbye forever, Chad. Oh.
Just complete disaster. I'm just letting them listen to the blow dryer now.
No, don't do that. All right, I think we're good.
All right, finally. Back to the normal.
Now I gotta let them cool down a little bit.
It's true. You gotta be careful with
That
that
soft
soft
plastic,
plastic.
yeah.
If you heat it up too much, it'll get really bendy.
I have done that before.
That's
did
what
that
I
on
said. He should have just wet blended it, but he chose not to.
No, I'm not that brave.
It's just sad. Just sadness. Werewolf brown.
No, that's what I just did. It's not brown. It's red.
Well, yeah, because werewolves are ruddy.
Are they?
What color is demon brown?
That's the one that I actually went. So this is werewolf red, brown.
It's
Demon
not
brown is like
brown.
a black brown.
I need an intensity, not an oxide.
Here we
I need
go.
a chestnut. There we go.
Look at this chewy. Such a good furry boy.
That. Use some intensity chestnut. Make up a little wash for our bronzes here.
Chestnut on bronze is the way to go.
It's true. You could use this chestnut on your
On-
Chewy.
My boy here.
Yeah. On your Wookiee boy. Your Wookiee child. Are there any Chewie changes?
Oh, we're only here for Han changes.
Oh, only
today.
here for Han changes? Rough.
Yeah, sorry, chat.
That's rough. Poor Chewie. Left out in the cold. On the hype.
Oh no, I put the brown back. Which brown was it? It's okay. We're ready to move up to a brown.
Just any brown?
What do you think? That is.
Which brown? What kind of brown do you want?
I want chewy brown.
Chewy brown?
It's a hashtag. Hashtag chewy brown.
You want this one, Bosch Chestnut. You do.
I think that's darker than my previous one, though.
I mean, I don't know what you were using.
I think I was already using this. I think this is exactly the color.
Well, see, that's why you wanted it.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks exactly the same.
We'll just mix the two.
No, it's good. Like I needed a little bit more for his back.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, take
Yeah,
your
and
Bosch
then you can
Chestnut,
take-
mix it with something else. Maybe like a peanut butter. Use the peanut butter.
How about Blackguard brown?
Chewie is getting a Republic card.
Oh boy.
It's in the Wookiee pack. It's the new Wookiee pack.
Chestnut go. Shrapnel red. Why are all these browns red?
Because they're fantasy colors. Everything's ruddy. It's got a lot of color to it. It's how it works.
I will win an award for most paper towels consumed.
I don't know. Dallas uses quite a few. Dallas uses quite a few. What do we got going on? Is there a brownie paint? No, I don't think there's a brownie paint. There's a peanut butter. There's a chestnut.
Okay, can we just say that I love brownies? And
Brownies
I'm
are
talking
delicious.
about both the mythical creature and the food.
Oh, well, there you go. There is only chaos. That's true. This stream never even had a chance, it feels like. We weren't even 2 minutes in before Pagani was dumping paint everywhere.
It's part of the excitement, all right? It's what they're here for.
I don't think any of them were here for that, but they might come back for it again. I look forward to the relative, saneness that will be Dallas and Plummer painting next week.
Oh yeah, are we buddied up the whole time?
No, we'll shift. We'll shift and change. We'll keep it interesting.
Keep them guessing.
Yeah. Eventually, it'll just be you and Plummer, and man, that'll be a treat. There'll be paint all over the walls.
I'll just paint Plumber.
Oh gosh, that is not no. Not allowed. Not allowed, sir.
Oh no, I missed one of his furry hands.
Oh man, he's gonna have a blank hand.
No, we got it. We got it. We're good. We're good. I hope this water cup is actually a water cup and this wasn't like Dallas's drink.
It was a water cup that I got specifically for you to use
Ah, thank goodness.
because I figured since I'm a compulsive brush licker, you probably didn't want to be using my water cup.
Not my favorite.
See, there you go.
Also, definitely against guidelines.
What are guidelines? They're not rules.
That is true.
See, therefore, why worry about them? Why even worry about them?
All right. One beautiful dry brush Chewy, no longer red. He's lived his best life over here. Shane.
See, you're all worried about him being red. Now he's not red.
I knew we could pull it out.
Everything's fine.
Now we'll paint up this here little bowcaster.
It's not the first tight spot that Chewy's been in.
And it won't be the last.
Oh. I mean, maybe give the poor Wookiee a break.
I'm just saying, he gets around and he does all sorts of crazy stuff.
This sounds accurate. Chat saying that next time you're going to pour all your paint over my paint and then you're going to claim that it was an accident. More specifically, I would imagine that Pagani would just claim it was my fault. That seems more in line with everything. Like eye contact 100% of the time as he dumps all the paint into my paint and is like, why would you do that?
It's a great question, Chick. Why would you do that?
Well, I didn't. See, that's the answer to that question. And then there'd be a whole lot of conversation about how, perception is reality.
All words are made up.
And Dallas would come and scream about how all words are made up. And then eventually it would lead to everything's a taco.
Yeah. And then we would just go get lunch with Simone.
She wouldn't be here for that.
No, we go pick her up.
It's far more controlled when she's in the office. Far more controlled.
A little less rambunctious.
A little less.
Just a little. Like, let's not get excited.
I mean, still rambunctious. It's just slightly more on topic rambunctiousness.
Yeah.
All words are made up, I believe, was at one point just the consistent mantra. You couldn't say anything without somebody yelling, all words are made up. And then you'd be like, okay, but we've agreed that these made up things have meaning, so we need to move on now.
I'm taking over your wet blending here, Chick.
Wet blending's awesome.
Going
I love
in.
wet blending.
I'm going in.
You can't even mess it up. Like,
Got all sorts of. Oh no, that was too wet.
you just keep mashing that paint into more paint and more paint and more paint, and eventually you're like, this looks really good. And then you keep mashing the paint into more paint. You're like, oh, I ruined it. And then you're like, I gotta go back.
That's literally what's happening.
Yeah,
right now.
and you just keep doing that. That's how I can spend 16 hours painting a unit. Is if I'm wet blending it. Oh my gosh, 0 questions. Go all the way.
Not
Get
to,
outta
like
here.
a little spritzer, so that the air is humid enough that your paint doesn't dry over 16 hours.
Well, I don't know what you've been doing, but I'm basically done here. I have to do a glow, but I don't think we have an orange. We don't have orange ink here. We have an orange, but not an orange ink.
I got a frenzy orange. If you want to try out one of these instant colors.
No.
No.
I might. I'll try it. I'll try it later, though.
All right.
All right.
So the last Wookiees that I painted, I did flesh-colored lips.
Oh goodness. Why would you do that?
So maybe we'll do that again for little Chewie here.
You're gonna give him flesh color. Well, you got like 3 minutes.
We can
then we sign off.
We can do flesh-colored lips in 3 minutes. It's
You
only
do.
the lower lip.
You do you. I'm just gonna appreciate my 4 little droids here that we knocked out in like no time flat. Can I get all 4 of them on screen? I think I can. Oh yeah, yeah. Look at
There
that.
we go.
Look at that whole unit. Ready to go. We just got to do the bases. Get some poppy colors on the bases,
A little nose.
and they're ready to start murdering things. Pew pew
that.
pew pew, pew pew.
I hear that those are friendly neighborhood robots.
The B2s?
Yeah.
No, they're not the friendly ones. The B1s are definitely friendly.
Okay.
The B2s are no nonsense.
Yeah, so I just got to come through, paint these little silver things on his bandolier, wash up some metallics, hit some highlights on some metallics, and paint some little eyeballs, and I think I'm good to go here. Look at these.
Nice.
these
Squad
2.
1 done. 2 squads of these guys to go.
We got a Han.
I'm just
Look
gonna
how steady that arm looks.
gonna give you
Does
the
that arm
full-
look steady?
Does it look like the steadiest?
It looks
Here.
pretty steady to me.
We'll give you the full screen here.
Oh,
Boom. Boom.
and then we got a Chewie.
And then you got a Chewie. Yeah. Look at that.
With his fleshy lips.
Here's my work. I know we've been focusing mostly on Pagani, but he has the nicer setup. And honestly, so there is my B2 unit. Just needs the bases.
They want me to pour the orange on the mini.
No, I know what they want. They're all monsters.
You must give the people what they want, chick.
Go to that. No, I don't think that's how that works. There we go. So yeah, these guys just need their little orange glow, and they're basically ready outside the bases. And I'll do all the bases at once because that's what I like to do.
Oh yeah, me too.
Bam.
If I only have to bust out the PVA glue once, life is good. Because that thing always glues itself closed.
Oh yeah. It's
100% chance.
Terrible.
100%.
Well, thank you very much for joining us today for Pagani Slobber's Paint Everywhere. It's been an experience and definitely one that I look forward to Dallas having in a couple of weeks. Be back tomorrow. Pagani and I are going to be coming back in more of his realm. We're going to be playing a game of Star Wars Legion. We're going to be doing a skirmish game. It's going to be clones versus separatists. We're going to see how it goes. I'm repping General Grievous, so I'm just going to lightsaber a bunch of clones. That's my only goal.
I got a Rex.
I'm going to lightsaber a Rex then. It's going to be great.
It's a valiant effort.
And then otherwise, you can join us back next week as we do a whole bunch more streaming, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 1 p.m. Pacific. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Be sure to watch our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter for all the latest and greatest information. And as we've discussed, the Star Wars Legion RRG and points updates are going to be coming at you before Thanksgiving in the American Thanksgiving version. And otherwise, we'll be posting more information and all that stuff on that. And everything else great coming to the Star Wars games. Till next time, chat. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Pagani, for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Please don't pour paint anywhere else.
I really enjoyed pouring a bottle of paint on the table. So.
The brand new paint. No one's ever even used it before. You just destroyed the whole thing. Destroyed the whole thing. Just literally the worst. I can't even believe it. It's just absolutely terrible.